We're going to walk through a trade using all of our indicators. So which ones are we going to use today? Well, we're going to use trend lines that we've learned how to draw out. We're going to use volume, we're going to use the MACD, and we're going to use the RSI to basically look at a stock and analyze, do we want to make a trade? So the stock we're looking at today is Tesla. Now this is the first chart that we're going to look at, and this is over the long term. And the one thing I want to point out here is right now we're going to look at 2019 as a year and analyze if we would have made our trade in there. But I pulled up the long-term chart because whenever you make an investment, whenever you look at a stock, whenever you look at anything, you want to look at the big picture first. You want to look at the last 5 years and see, is this trending up or down, and then sort of narrow it in from there. So we're looking at Tesla. We want to get into the car industry. I pulled up a big, basically 1, 2, 3, 4 year chart, and what we've seen here and what we're identifying is a big area of support at that 180 level that was established back in 2016. So the chart that we're looking at today that I want to use as an example was looking at the year 2019 and identifying when was the best time to get in. So we're looking at Tesla. We've got our price coming in here, and we can see that the price is coming in from the left side. It's a little bit of a bearish pattern, and then it dips drastically in May 2019. It comes down and it bottoms out right around this point here in June, and it just so happens remarkably that it's right at that 180 level. Now what's cool about that is we identified it as support when we looked at the long-term chart. The only way we would have seen that is if we pulled it up on a big multi-year chart like we did. So we identified support at that 180 level. We are now seeing that price come back down to that 180 level, and now we're going to start using our indicators to see, do we think it's going to level off here? Do we think it's going to stay at 180? And is this an opportunity to actually get in? So we're going to start at the top with the RSI. We can see the RSI is basically trading in this middle channel here around the 30 to 50 mark. It drops below 30 in May of 2019. That's clearly a oversold signal. And then right as we get into June here, beginning first week of June here, we can see that it breaks through that oversold barrier at 30. And that is our buy signal. That is the RSI saying it is time to buy this stock. So now we've got support at the 180, and we've got confirmation from the RSI that this is coming out of the oversold zone, and this is our buy signal from the RSI. Let's take a look at our volume. So we can see that the low here was right before June, and we're trading at that kind of $10 to $15 million range. As soon as we hit that low here, we can see we have 2 more positive days. You'll have to zoom in here, but 2 more positive days of trading, and then we have a big, massive positive day of trading here, all compared to our low. So we had the low, and then we had 2 higher days, and then we had 1 major higher day. So we had 3 days of confirmed higher volume trading since the low. So that is a good signal as well. That is a buy signal from the volume, and that is the volume saying, okay, this trend could be serious. This trend could have some confirmation behind it because the price is going up and we're still seeing a significant volume of trades being executed. That means people are willing to pay more for these stocks, which is a great sign. Lastly, we're going to go down to the MACD, and we can see here the MACD, the slower moving average and the longer moving average are basically crisscrossing back and forth, a little bit below negative -5, -10, kind of in that range here. And then we can see it dips all the way down to this almost -20 zone, and we can see a clear crossover of the black line over the red line, the shorter moving average over the longer moving average, and a clear breakout upwards. That is a clearly identifiable buy signal from the MACD. And when we look at this as a whole, we've got support at 180, we've got increased volume from about 5 to 10 million up to almost $20 million right here. 20 million units, sorry. On the MACD, we've got a clear crossover up below the 0 line. That is the clearest buy sell that we could possibly see, and we have confirmation on the top by the RSI. So this is very clearly an excellent time to get into this when you extend it out over the longer period. This stock went up to $414, so you would have over doubled your money depending on when you got in here, but pretty easily, if you got in any time before here, you would have doubled your money. And the stock eventually made it up to over $900. So pretty exciting. I think it's back down around 5, 6, somewhere in there as I'm filming this today, but quite an amazing run here. And this was really simple. All we used was volume, the MACD, the RSI, and looking at a long-term chart to establish support. That's all we did. It would have taken somebody a couple of minutes to identify this, and you would have doubled your money right here. If you saw buy, 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 and you executed your trade in this area here, you would have done extremely well on this stock. And these are the opportunities that we're looking for. Now, as you can see, this type of opportunity only came up basically once this year for such a massive massive return like this, but these opportunities are happening all the time. So as we keep going, here's the main points. Using it all together, the more indicators that confirm your buy or sell signal, the more confidence you should have in making that trade. So if all 4 of those indicators line up and they say you are good to go, you are set, you should buy this stock, well, you can have a little bit more confidence in your assumption that this stock is going to go up or that it's going to go well. Now, not all the time will these indicators line up perfectly or even as nicely as they did in the example that I'm using today. A lot of the time, it's a little bit more iffy. It's a little bit more 50-50. And so you have to make the decision of, are you going to take on the risk, or are you going to wait for opportunities that look as good or better than this Tesla opportunity did? Now, being able to identify in that moment is a tricky challenge as well. And you can never be 100% sure. I keep saying this, and this is really the key here. You could have 13 indicators line up. You could have everything point in the right direction. Things can change. Things can change drastically quick, from COVID-19 to a tornado affects your supply chain to a riot in your factory, to all of these different things can have a major impact on it. So you're never going to be completely sure, but using these indicators, you can basically get a little bit of a better idea as to what's going to happen with this stock. And Tesla is a great example of that, where all 4 of them lined up almost perfectly, and we clearly had a buy signal on this stock. And if you would have executed on it, you could have easily doubled your money in a matter of months. So very exciting to see, a great show of confidence, and lots more to go. This was just one example. I'm going to go through several more soon.